Brendan Jeffrian is currently in Chicago. Brendan, can you hear me?
Hey guys, yeah.
Hey, Brendan.
How are you?
Good.
Hey.
How are you?
You've had a long day. Let's hear about
It's
it.
been busy. Hey, you know, I just got back to the hotel room, and I'm like trying to. The brothers' attorneys. Sorry, I'm just trying to fix
That's
this
okay.
here. The attorney for the two brothers that have really been cooperating with police during this last several days. She made some really interesting points during a press conference after they left the grand jury room. I want to read one of them right here to you. She says, Jussie's conscience Jussie's conscience is probably not letting him sleep right now. I think he should unload that conscience, come out and tell the American people what actually happened.
That's Gloria Schmidt very obviously pushing for a confession of guilt.
Yeah, and she was really pushing for it. And, you know, as we talked about, this has been going on for 3 weeks now. She said that these two brothers together testified today for nearly 2.5 hours to the grand jury. It was really interesting. You know, you go into this as the criminal courthouse in downtown Chicago, and you go into the fourth floor. This is where the grand jury room is, right? And obviously reporters not allowed inside the grand jury room. So we're all kind of hanging outside. There's about 13 of us just waiting for, you know, any kind of movement. And a long time went by, and then these security guards from the Cook County Sheriff's Department started showing up on the floor, and it was kind of giving us the hint that, okay, something's going to happen here. There's going to be movement. Are we going to see the brothers walk out? Is it just going to be the attorney? So how it played out was basically they cornered off these two elevators on the fourth floor just outside the grand jury room, and they moved all reporters back so that we wouldn't really have any contact with the jurors. We could still see them. So when they actually let the jurors out of the juror room, I counted about, I don't want to say exactly 15, I would say between 15 and 16. It was a mix of all genders, all races. And they filed into two separate elevators and exited the building with the help of the sheriffs there. And then the attorney for the two brothers exited the grand jury room, and she told all reporters that she'd be taking questions downstairs. Now, what was interesting is she didn't leave the grand jury room with her two clients, the two brothers. They actually kept them back in the grand jury room for some time in hopes that most reporters would go downstairs for this press. But I do confirmed that those brothers did eventually leave together with a police escort from the grand jury room to an undisclosed location inside the courtroom while the attorney, their attorney, held this press conference downstairs. Again, guys, I mean, a direct quote from her, Jussie's conscience is not letting him sleep right now. I think he should unload that conscience, come out, and tell the American people what actually happened. Pretty telling.
Hey, Brendan, we've actually got a little bit of Gloria's sound. We've got that clip. Can we roll the clip for a second, guys?
There was never a change of heart. There was a point where this story needed to be told, and they manned up and they said, you know what, we're going to correct this. So plea deal, immunity, all of that, they don't care about that. There's no plea deal.
Is there immunity? There is no plea deal and there's no immunity?
No.
When can we do your time with police, poll records, and those kinds of things? Do you think those things back up?
You don't need immunity when you have the truth.
The things that they turned over to the police, the information, the records, do those things back up their story? Have you seen that?
I'll take one last question.
When can we hear from your clients?
We are coordinating that right now, so I will let you all know as soon as we can do that.
Did your clients get any money from Jussie at any point?
Wow, it's a pretty, you can tell that's an intense impromptu press conference she's giving there.
Brendan, what are the possible charges that the brothers might face, or would they face any charges?
She told us during this press conference that there wouldn't be any charges, as we know they are cooperating with police. I mean, I hate to say that one person could say that, but obviously to protect us, I mean, one person could say that and things could change.
Right.
There were reports before they were cooperating with, or before they met with police, rather, before the two brothers met with police, there were reports that they were going to be charged with battery, and then those reports changed to that they weren't going to be charged with battery because they were then cooperating with police. ET has never independently confirmed that they were going to be charged with battery, but that was kind of being floated out there. Obviously, things can change, as we know, and we've talked about this for the last 3 weeks, guys. This is such a fluid situation. The other thing that did just kind of stand out to me during this press conference is these are two brothers that we knew who Jussie Smollett was before this alleged attack happened three weeks ago. We had no idea, for the most part. The general public had no idea who these two brothers were, right? And so you kind of think about this family that's now been thrust into the media spotlight because two members of the family were allegedly in some way maybe tied to this alleged attack, right? And one of the reporters at this press conference had mentioned how is the family doing? And the attorney responded, Gloria responded, and said they're obviously very traumatized. Gloria has been in touch with these two brothers' mother and their older brother. They are doing well. They have been under the watchful eye of the Chicago Police Department. And she said that the police have really been taking care of the family and making sure that they are protected. You have to look at this as these two brothers are coming forward and giving alleged very compelling evidence to police. You could potentially become a target in a situation like this.
I see.
You don't know.
Absolutely. I think that's a very important point that you're making. There are Jussie Smollett as a celebrity obviously has a very large platform, and this entering into the realm, he alleged that this was a hate crime. Clearly, this becomes an emotional issue for a lot of people, and Ola and Abel Osundero being connected to this, reaching a new level of infamy for which they've never been exposed or trained for, clearly puts them in a very unique position for their life and also their family. And so I'm glad to hear that the police are looking out for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we've asked multiple times to police. We know that they've been watching over these brothers and the family. In fact, I actually went with a camera guy yesterday to their home on Chicago's north side. We did a door knock at the home that was raided last week by police, where several pieces of evidence were collected by detectives. And there was no answer at the door, no answer from neighbors. You can only imagine. I mean, these are guys that, again, they were extras on Empire. Yes, they had roles on the show, but they weren't at a Jussie Smollett caliber.
No.
So this family had never really been in the spotlight. And I just thought, it's good to know that they are being watched over by the police while all of this unravels. And I think that there's a lot more to come, guys.
Oh, yeah.
We do know that Jussie, a bond hearing has been set for tomorrow at 1:30. We are out to police to confirm. Does he have to show up to that? What is next for Jussie? When will we see Jussie? We haven't seen Jussie. We haven't seen paparazzi photos. We haven't seen video. We don't know where he's been, where he's been hiding out, essentially. And it's also to point out, important to point out here that when we reached out to Fox tonight after this indictment came down, Fox told us they had no comment.
Well, Brendan, can you break down, just kind of clear up exactly what the bond hearing entails at that moment? Could he be arrested tomorrow or tonight? Like, what exactly does that mean for Jussie?
Hey, guys, I'm sorry, Brendan, I'm going to interrupt. We just got a statement from Jussie's attorney. I'm going to read it aloud. We're all here getting this for the first time. Here we go. Jussie's attorney says, quote, "Like any other citizen, Mr. Smollett enjoys the presumption of innocence, particularly when there has been an investigation like this one where information, both true and false, has been repeatedly leaked. Given these circumstances, we intend to conduct a thorough investigation and to mount an aggressive defense." End quote. His attorneys are clearly standing beside Jussie, as they should.
Right. That's what they're essentially hired for.
Hey, Brendan,
right, this is...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, what strikes you when you hear that? You're there, you've been in the mix all day long, you've been around the other reporters, you've been in the courtroom, and I was just curious if you could describe, I don't know, what is there chaos there? Are we talking about outlets from all over the world? Are you surprised at all that that this was the statement from the lawyers?
You know, the situation at the courthouse today was very low key when we first arrived early this afternoon. I want to say we got there probably early afternoon, definitely before 3 o'clock. And it was maybe 6 or 7 cameras lined up. I went upstairs at some point late afternoon when we found out that those brothers and their attorney were inside the grand jury room. And we were, like I explained earlier, hanging outside of the grand jury room. And when I came down to meet Gloria, you know, we knew she was going to have that press conference. I couldn't believe how many cameras and reporters had been added to the mix. It almost doubled, to be totally honest. It almost doubled. I think once, you know, reporters got wind that these two brothers were in the grand jury room, the media's attention was like, oh my gosh, this could be going down. We could see a major development in this story by day's end.
Wow. I mean, this is a story that has shocked us all, Brendan. So, I mean, I could only imagine how chaotic it was today. But as I told you before, and we want to say again, we appreciate you so much for being on the ground in Chicago, bringing us the latest news in this case. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll keep you posted.
Thanks, Brendan. Just to recap, Jussie is going to recap. Gloria Schmidt earlier pushed for a confession of guilt at the press conference to help Jussie with his conscience, or she says his guilty conscience. Either he or his lawyers are going to meet with the court tomorrow to discuss bond. And then the statement we just read from Jussie's attorneys said that he, as like any other American citizen, enjoys the presumption of innocence. You are innocent until you are proven guilty. And I don't know, he's going to be proven innocent or guilty relatively soon, I think.
ET Live will continue to monitor this case and have Brendan bring us live updates from Chicago.